I do see color because I believe if you don't see color, you can't see racism. And whatever happens, black, white, disabled person. I've always, even someone with disabilities, I always, for the most part, people are like, don't, when they're young, they kind of make the spot hot. Younger people know what that means.
No idea what that means.
But what I would say is, like, no, I want you to be able to go up to those people and really understand those people. I do see color because I believe.
I'm gonna play this. I'm gonna pause this because it's Orwellian in its insanity.
I do see color.
I do see color
because I believe if you don't see color, you can't see racism.
If you don't see color, you can't see racism. Let me try to wrap my head around that one. If I don't see the color of a person's skin, I can't see racism. I'm trying to think if I agree with this or disagree with this.
I believe if you don't see color, you can't see racism.
I think you're right. If I don't see color, I can't see racism. Oh my goodness. This is not even the best part of the clip though. Yeah, I do see color. That's called racism. Period. I do see color because I believe if you don't see color, well, you can't be racist. Oh, I'm sorry. You can't see racism. I think I'm inclined to agree with that. But I just one step further of this insanity is when the man, I forget who this guy, I don't know who he is. He's working for the New England Patriots. He's the first black not general manager. He's the first black position of whatever he is, and I don't know who he is, of the New England Patriots. Listen to this. That moment when you equate race with physical disabilities.
And whatever happens, black, white, disabled person. I've always, even someone with disabilities, I always, for the most part, people are like, don't, when they're young, they kind of make the spot hot.
I don't know what that means, and I'm not looking it up.
But what I would say is, like, no, I want you to be able to go up to those people and really understand those people.
Understanding a person because of their history, race, religion, creed, disability is far different than reducing them to that or using that as an identification purpose. But
and whatever happens, black, white, disabled person. I've always,
can you imagine the man who says I do see color, then goes on to immediately equate race with disability? I mean, one should not be judged for disability, but disability by definition is lacking a physical ability, and it's typically through injury or birth conditions. Imagine like just basically tacitly admitting that that's how you see race, that you see those two things on a physiological moral par. That's called racism. Period. Full stop. Okay. Good. What day is it? And what time is it? Good afternoon, East Coast. Good morning, West Coast. And what I wanted to say is we have a special guest. I've never seen this person before, never met them before, and I'm still not seeing them now because it's an avatar. But it doesn't matter. It was during the stream of the Iowa caucus, I get a DM in Twitter. And the person says, I was at the Iowa caucus. And I was like, oh, can you make it on now? And then I didn't see that they responded in my DMs while I was live doing the caucus coverage. Caucus. And so that person who attended the caucus in Iowa, the Iowa caucus, said, I want to tell you what happened. It was kind of a fun experience. So that's how we're going to start this show. On the menu for today. I did a vlog in the car this morning, people, and it's going to come out this afternoon. But I'm going to talk about it at length, in depth, long format, the Canadian wildfires. We were all called conspiracy theorists for suggesting that there was strong indications that those wildfires, which were being chalked up to climate change, were the result of arson, at least in part. And we've got now thorough confirmation. A man in Nova Scotia's record-breaking wildfire arrested for arson. I'm going to talk about Jan 6, the pipe bomb tapes, the pipe bomb videos, WEF, and another breaking news story coming out of Canada. Keith Wilson, you all know him. He was the convoy attorney. I've had him on the channel a number of times. He was the object of an ethics complaint filed by a lawyer who can only be described as an insidious activist coming out of Canada. The breaking news of the day is his ethics complaint has been dismissed. We'll get to it. And now, by the way, I did a podcast at the Patrick Bet David Valuetainment studio with the Unusual Suspects. And because I don't leave empty-handed, I'm joking. I took one of these drinks and then I didn't drink it during the show. And then I realized also it wasn't a flavor that I wanted. So I took a cherry one on the way home. So hashtag not an ad. I don't know what this is even called. What is this called? This is the product. And apparently it's got no sugar, no caffeine, no sucralose. And so the only question is stevia. That's what the sweetener is. Is that going to upset my stomach? We'll see. It's not going to. I've had it before. Okay. Without further ado, we've got an individual. I spoke with him briefly before, Netcat, who attended the Iowa caucus and who's going to tell us about the Iowa caucus. But before we even bring him in, I keep forgetting to do these things. We are live currently on vivabarneslaw.locals.com. If anybody wants to preemptively come over there now, that's the link. We are simultaneously streaming YouTube, Rumble, vivabarneslaw.locals.com. The link to Rumble is in the pinned comment on YouTube. We're going to end probably after the interview with Netcat and then go over to Rumble. Then we end on Rumble when the stream is done. We have our after party at Locals where I answer tipped questions. We have our beautiful community and we have a fun after party. And then the last thing I just almost forgot to do is, hold on, Viva Barnes Law. No, I wanted to go to Viva Frei. If anybody wants a shirt, look, people, you got to wear shirts anyhow. If you want to come on over to the merch store, Viva Frei, and you can get tumblers. You can get, oh, look at those beautiful tumblers with the awesomest catchphrases. Yes, fed. Oh, yeah. You got tumblers, you got shirts, you got all the good stuff. So you can go there and support the channel. It's not the cheapest stuff on earth because costs are costs and shipping is not, ideal, but you're getting it on the one hand because people need shirts, people need cups, and you want to support the channel. That's the easiest way to do it. But it's fantastic stuff. Populism fixes everything. Wanted for president. Yada, yada, yada. Okay. And speaking of clothes, oops. Apparently salmon is a very popular color in Florida, and my wife got me some salmon-colored shorts because the other ones got too dirty, and I kept on wearing the dirty shirts even though they were totally comfortable, but they got stained, and then I can't wear stained pants. All right, whatever. Okay, everybody, that's it. That's the intro. Netcat, I'm bringing you in 3, 2, 1. Boom shakalaka. Sir, how goes the battle?
Pretty good, and I gotta say, I'm jealous. You're able to wear shorts. It's in the negative wind chills here right now.
Dude, I was walking the dog barefoot this morning. I mean, it's a little chilly. It's like 72 degrees.
Oh,
well, the truth is, I do miss winter because I don't know what season it is. I don't know what month it is. I don't know the passage of time. And I was just talking about it with my wife yesterday. Like, you attribute memories to seasons, and when it's all one big season, you don't even have that delineating, like that important delineator in your memory. So everything becomes one long memory when you have no seasons. Netcat, I mean, look, you mentioned to me before we started that you have a channel. Who are you?
But my channel is called Netcat Media. It's 2 words, and basically I play lots of games on it. I occasionally spout off about current media, like say Star Wars, Marvel, and just how shit things have been lately. But that I want things to get better, and that's mostly what the channel is. Just kind of like to just be out there and talk and have fun.
Is it the one with the it looks like a green cat with a coconut shell face mask?
Yes, and it's supposed to be Battle Cat from He-Man.
Dude, I have no idea what that is, but I'm putting the link in. Battle Cat from He-Man. Hold on just one second. Look, I'm not going to grill you on this. So I just want to make sure I got the right one. This is the channel.
Yep, that's it.
Ooh, and you said, is Andrew Tate someone we should look up to? Lying douchebag. Well, I might watch that just to hear what you say.
Yes. So, spoiler alert: we shouldn't. He's an ass.
You're gonna make. Well, I don't want people hate. Well, no, our audiences. I think my audience is not evenly split. Even if people don't like Andrew Tate, I don't think people agree with what's been done to him out of Romania.
Oh no, I actually don't agree legally with a lot of the things that I've seen. That video is not anything about legal. It's just about whether he's a good person. I do think that there's been lack of due process.
Okay. Good. So at least opinions will not trump legal assessments. And so you have the YouTube channel Netcat Media. Are you? I don't want to like dox you, but were you in Iowa for the event, or do you live in Iowa?
I definitely don't mind saying the city that I'm in. I'm actually in Iowa City, which is in Johnson County.
What state is Iowa City in?
Iowa.
Okay, okay, that was a joke. But
okay.
So you're in Iowa City. I'm not going to ask you unless you want to elect your political leanings.
I'm actually going to in what we're talking about. So yeah.
Okay, so yeah, tell me what happens.
So basically, I decided that I was going to go about 2 weeks ago. I decided, I'm actually off that day, so I'm going to go caucus because I've been watching this guy by the name of Vivek Ramaswamy for a while, and I'm liking what he has to say. So I think I'm going to go out and see what this caucus stuff is like and speak my mind. So. And so I looked it up, and and by the way, with my avatar, you can see what I actually wear to go walking and stuff in this weather, with the big trench coat.
Okay.
I actually thought that the polling that the primary was going to be that the caucus was going to be where the primary originally was. So I walked down the hill to where that was. Yeah, the caucus is a lot more spread out than that. So instead of it being the normal polling place, it's spread out into all the different precincts. So there's like 20 different or more. I don't remember how many the precincts there were, but there were a lot. So when I was down there, which I hiked down there in negative 17-degree wind chill, thankfully somebody else made the same mistake and drove over me and asked if I was trying to get to the actual caucus. And I was like, yeah. And they told me to jump in, and we drove over there in time.
Hold on 1 second. You got into a car with a stranger.
Yes.
This Iowa City sounds like a wild place where you can trust random strangers. Okay, I can appreciate circumstances.
Yeah, so I mean, in normal circumstances, I probably wouldn't have, but we're talking 6:30 at night in, as I said, negative 17-degree wind chill, and
do you want to know
who else is going to be out there trying to prey on somebody in that weather?
Democrats who want to go find a Republican. It's like, hey, I'll drive you to the caucus. Get in, and then the doors lock, and you look, and there's no handle on the inside, and then like, now I got you. So you get in, and they drive you. So this is what I was I understood only after the evening is that they had the caucus sites like in 99 different locations.
Yep.
Okay. So you get to one of them. I mean, I presume you only visited one, right?
There's only one you're allowed to visit because because it's based on where you live. So when you get there, you actually have to show ID that shows that you live in that precinct. I know it's shocking. They actually check IDs.
Those damn racist Republicans. Okay, and then but they check in IDs, but you don't need to be a registered Republican, or you don't have to be a historical Republican. You just need to re-register as a Republican the day of.
Yep. And to be honest, I wasn't registered as a Republican. I'm not registered as anything because I consider myself to be a centrist. So I'm one of the people that registered as Republican at the site, which I find, which to me, when everybody's talking about, look at all these people who register as that, they're all obviously Democrats. No, I'm not one. So they're using the fact that I registered as Republican that day as evidence of Democrats registering as Republican. Now, I'm not going to say that it didn't happen because I'm sure it has. But
well, no, but it is interesting that even though that was you were allowed to do that, Trump still won with 51%, and it was a massive smashing success. So maybe there is evidence to suggest that it brought out new people who would register as Republicans to caucus for Trump.
Yeah.
Okay, and definitely. So you get the ID register, you get in. Is it bedlam, or is it like, when I hear caucus and what I understood that it meant is like everybody's shouting, trying to convince people who to vote for. Okay.
It was actually pretty calm. It was basically a cafeteria. Everybody was just sitting wherever they felt like sitting. And like for about like 15-20 minutes before the caucus officially started, everyone was just kind of just milling around talking just saying what we thought. And I'd like to mention that there were 3 people from the DeSantis campaign that were actually at there. And what I thought was interesting was that as I was registering, I heard one of them say that they wanted to speak for DeSantis, and the chair said, "You can only speak for DeSantis if no one in the caucus speaks for DeSantis, because this is for the caucus members, not for you."
Okay, interesting. And so you get into the room, and how many people are in the room?
There were a total of 61 people, including me.
Okay. And how many people get to speak for how long? And is it like it's a ballot on a paper? Nobody's raising their hands.
Correct.
Okay.
But okay. First, I'd like to say that once it started, when people talk about it being a caucus, I would say that a more layman term for it would be just it's a meeting, because it was called to order by a chairman, and there was a secretary, and there was things like, okay, well, we confirmed the temporary chairman to be the chairman. Well, we confirmed the temporary secretary to be the secretary. Everyone laughed and said, yes, we do. And then it just kind of proceeded. They talked about who they said who the actual candidates were, and asked who here would like to speak for each candidate. And they would take one person to speak for 5 to 10 minutes for each candidate. So at this point, I had no idea what I was doing, but I was like, screw it. I raised my hand and I decided to do a speech for Vivek, and I had nothing planned.
You elected to speak for Vivek.
Yes.
Interesting. Do I dare ask who you voted for?
I won't. I don't care.
It's almost as an intrusive question as like asking.
The reason why I said I don't care is because if I said that I was going to speak for Vivek, I think it's pretty goddamn obvious who I voted for.
You never know. Maybe you're trying to like do a double fakie, get some of the Haley people to vote for Vivek, and then you vote for Trump. So what you how long are you allotted to speak in support of a candidate?
We're getting about 5 to 10 minutes. There was there were no timers or anything though. We can just go up and just speak your mind.
Okay, interesting. And are people coherent, or are there unhinged speakers up there?
At mine, everybody was very coherent.
Okay, very interesting. And sorry, go for it.
One thing that I found kind of interesting was that the person who elected to speak for Nikki was actually the secretary that was there. I mean, if you want to go conspiracy theory, which I don't, but I'm sure that some people could, but who knows?
The secretary of the caucus, so the person who's there to take the minutes, speaks on behalf of one of the candidates.
Yeah, okay. I thought that was a little interesting. I don't think that it means anything, but
what was the argument for Nikki Haley, that she's going to be super good for the war machine and she's going to be super good for internet registration? Like, what are the compelling arguments that were presented to even consider Nikki Haley?
She's a woman, and that we really need to beat Biden, and she polls the best against Biden. That's basically that's basically what that speech came down to.
Oh my goodness! So the person who spoke for Nikki, the secretary, was also a woman?
No, that was a guy.
Okay. That's even worse. That's even worse, actually. So, I mean, that's the definition of white knighting. So some dude gets up and says, "We got to support women." All right, awesome.
Yes, basically, yes.
Had he read the news about Nikki Haley's alleged affairs, and did he think he was going to get lucky? I mean, that's that. Okay, bada bing, bada boom. Too soon. Okay, cool. So the Nikki Haley speech is trivial identity politics. Who spoke on behalf of Trump?
An older lady, would probably say like 60, 70 years old. And she basically talked about how Trump's first term was really good, and that he doesn't deserve all the slings and arrows that have been coming at him, and that the election being stolen was really bad. So let's fix that by voting Trump back in. and get the second term we should have had before.
Okay.
And I'd like to mention, since you're asking about whether things are calm or not, all this is actually being said in just a calm speaking matter. No theatrics, no nothing.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's people of the same political side in theory. Just it's not like the rivals. It wouldn't be like having a Democrat and Republican viva voce debate as to who should win. Now I got to ask you this. I mean, I could have presented. I mean, I could present very strong arguments for Trump, but I could present strong arguments for Vivek. What was your position for Vivek?
To sum it up, Vivek is Trump but better. So I was talking about how when Trump ran in 2016, he hadn't had a political position either. So the people who say, well, Vivek hasn't had a political position, well, that could have been said about Trump as well. And Vivek is a businessman and a lawyer, as opposed to a businessman and an entrepreneur. Which means that if he gets into office, he's actually going to understand what he can and cannot do, which, frankly, Trump didn't know.
Yes, but some problem with that argument is that people are going to say that argument applies even better for Harvard graduate DeSantis.
Yes, and that may be true, but I don't care.
Yeah, I forgot that he went to Yale Law School to get it. He went to Harvard.
Yeah,
from Harvard University. Biology to Yale Law. That's amazing. Holy cows.
But thing is that DeSantis doesn't as well have the same platforms that Vivek has, as where Vivek is talking about what he wants to do with the FBI and the three other agencies. Vivek actually breaks down what he plans to do. Vivek actually has plans that he shares. So it's not pie in the sky. Vivek says what he can and can't do, just with the president's power, and he admits when he can't do something, without the help of Congress. Which with someone like Ron DeSantis, he just says, "I'm going to do all these things." Well, yeah, he's been able to do that in Florida because he's had the support of Congress. Is he going to be able to do all the things that he wants to do without the support of a friendly Congress
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah,
Okay.
and another thing for Vivek is that he's younger. He actually understands technology. I mean, I just saw a few days ago him going into detail about AI. I mean, wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be nice to have someone up at that level who actually understands technology?
These are decent arguments. I would all say present them in 2028 after Vivek has been VP for 4 years and can come in.
And that's why I want him to be VP. I want him to be the next office over from Trump, so that he can talk to Trump when there's shit going on, and he can advise him directly. Now that he's dropped out, I 100% want to have Trump with Vivek as VP.
So how many people spoke? How long were the speeches for? And then what happens when you get to the vote part?
There were four people who spoke. One for each of the main four. It was asked for Asa Hutchinson, and absolutely zero people, because they had to ask for each person who was actually on it, and basically everybody laughed when it was asked who would speak.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, Joe, man, that's another one of the things. Do you think that Trump would even have understood the central bank digital currency?
I think he would have, but I do think Vivek has been instrumental in pushing points that become like when Trump came out in 2016 and brought the illegal immigration discussion to the fore. That's what Vivek is doing now with some of the populist and more important talking points and issues. So Vivek has been of immeasurable value. So yeah, I think that's definitely Vivek influence.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
So only one person spoke for all four candidates for 5 to 10 minutes, and then they say thank you. Let's vote.
Yes, pretty much.
On paper, right?
Yes, and they walked around. The chair walked around the room and handed each person a green slip of paper, and told us, write whoever you want and onto this paper. And then they came around and collected them. And I point out that it's green because they collected them and put them into a white bag. So the contrast in colors is very clear. And then, and I had no idea that this was going to happen. Since I was one of the speakers, I was called to help count.
Okay.
So,
So you saw the outcome in real time.
Yep, I saw the outcome real time, and I confirmed the outcome as well.
So you said it was 61 people who voted at that particular location.
Yep.
I'm going to say, I'm going to do some math. I don't know which way that precinct went. I'm going to say 40 votes for Trump.
No.
More or less?
This particular county is one of the more blue counties in Iowa. This is a county that has the University of Iowa in it, so it's a university town. Oh, there were 36 votes for Haley, 13 for Trump. Yes. I was shocked.
Yeah, people in the chat are saying lib country.
Yes.
So
yes.
that's a precinct. That's not a county, right? When they said that Hillary, Nikki won one county.
It was Johnson County, yes.
Okay,
and
all right.
And this is the county, and the precinct I'm in is in Johnson County.
Okay, very cool. And so then, and what time did it end?
It ended around, say, 8 o'clock or so.
And they count the votes. Do they announce it in real time, and all Haley fans go crazy, like, "Woo, we won one building"?
We announced it real time right after all of us confirmed it. Oh, and I would also like to mention, as far as the count goes, it was the 4 speakers, the chairman, and one person who did not declare who they were supporting. Okay. So that's how we went, and we all confirmed the vote, counted, and everything. And it was declared, and it was just like, okay, cool, our business here is done. And that's literally pretty much all that was.
It's very cool. I mean, it's an interesting process. It's not quite as chaotic as I understood some of the primaries in 2016, the DNC primaries. But I have no idea what the rules even were.
Oh, and for Dushkin, and Vivek got 2 votes. So me and somebody else. I would love to know whether or not that other person came in intending to vote for Vivek, or if I actually convinced them. I'm never going to know, but I'd love to know if I actually affected that.
Well, I'd say one thing is good. Vivek, despite the fact that he was single digits and give or take 8%, that's amazing. It's amazing that he even got to 8%. And more amazing than that, he's out there stumping hard for Trump now and pushing the important discussion points that everybody should be focusing on.
Yep. And I'd like to say one other thing about a rumor that I've heard going around. Well, not rumor, but a position that's been annoying me. With CNN coming out and announcing it early for Trump, there's I've been seeing people talk about how this may have made people get out of line because it doesn't matter anymore. Guys, we weren't in line. We're in a room. We've already braved the cold to be there. We're in the room. We're talking. We're discussing this stuff. The door's closed, and on the other side of the room from us, do you think that we're going to look at the fact that CNN just announced something and then get up and walk out after we've already gone to the trouble of being here? What the fuck are you, stupid?
Well, it wasn't CNN. It was Fox News apparently.
Fox. I'm sorry. My bad. but my argument remains the same.
Absolutely, it's a legit argument. And either way, yeah. But people are going to complain one way or the other. So.
Oh yeah, it's just been annoying me, and I've been wanting to go off on that.
Well, point well taken, Netcat. So that's very cool. Okay, everybody. First of all, Netcat, thank you. I mean, I love the first-hand account. I wanted to get down there for it, but I just got back from Canada and just got over my sinus infection, and I wasn't just about to go back up to that weather, so I'm going to sit here and chill barefoot. But I was curious to how it happened, and it's very, very cool.
And thanks for having me on. I'm really happy to actually share the experience.
Dude, it's amazing. And everybody, I can tell you one thing. I'm going to go check out your video on Andrew Tate afterwards. That's for damn certain. It's Netcat Media on YouTube. Are you also on Rumble?
I am on Rumble, and it's the same name.
Okay, awesome.
I don't do as much on Rumble, but largely because I tend to stream from my PlayStation. And unfortunately, I only get to choose Twitch or YouTube. I really friggin' wish that I could stream directly from my PlayStation to Rumble.
Well, I'll ask Pavlovsky if that's in the books for what's upcoming at Rumble this year.
Cool. Well,
Netcat,
thank you for the talk.
Thank you for coming. Keep in touch. We are DMing, so keep in touch, and we'll see how the rest of this 2024 goes.
Oh yes, thank you.
All right, man. Have a good day. You too.
Bye.
Well, there you have it, people. That's what a caucus looks and sounds like. I'm just reading some of the chat. Oh, I said I wanted to bring up one. I'll bring up one. First, I want to bring up some chat here. That's the caucus. Very interesting experience. I would have liked it to be a little more. What's the word I'm looking for? Chaotic, but there's another word. It's a biblical way of describing chaos. Whatever. It'll come to me in a second. Mark Peterson said, "I bet Evel Knievel has more airtime than Prince Harry." I don't know what that means, but you have a beautiful dog. What do we got here? We got Trump Haley 2024. Ha ha ha! Good troll. Not going to happen. I'm going to come back to a comment in a second. It's choose heretics, choose coronation revolution now. See what's in the thing there? It says Sovereign Military Order of Jerusalem. Okay, I'm just reading the avatar. I have to pull my glasses down. STFUFFS, which surely stands for, I'm going to make a joke. Salmon shorts, my arse. Those are pink, and they're salmon. Now, Nightwatch Nate, I wanted to bring this up. Love how everyone is begging for Vivek, the big pharma snake still. I think he meant shill. Do you research people, Soros educated, WEF approved, and Pfizer funded? He has been groomed like Obama 2.0. I'm not making fun of you, Nightwatch. People are entitled to their opinions. To this, I would only say this. Soros educated is one way of describing having been given a scholarship or having accepted a scholarship in 2008 from Soros' brother, who provided scholarships to students. The better argument might be he didn't need that scholarship because he already had $300 and some odd thousand. Bad argument. Not Soros funded, period. It's what do they call it, a bursary? From a fund from Soros' brother over a decade ago. Sorry, bad argument. 2, what was the second one here? Big Pharma Snake. I don't know, because he worked in pharma. The other one, WEF approved. You do know that he sued the WEF to take down his name and any suggested connection between the WEF and him, because what the WEF does, we're going to talk about this a little later, is they basically, just create landing pages with people's faces and names and then imply some sort of connection between them, even if they don't have overt connections with them. And Vivek sued them to take it down, and he won. And I believe they had to pay him a certain nominal amount of money and apologize for it. So these are all bad arguments, just to get that out there. Okay, with that said, hold on. I'm just reading some of the chat here. Yeah, but okay, this is why, I'll entertain the discussion for a few more seconds. He got his Ivy League education from Soros' brother. Why did they see so much potential in him? You apply for bursaries, and they grant bursaries, much like that Ukrainian Nazi soldier out of Canada set up a bursary and gave the monies to people. People apply, and they select a candidate. This is not grooming in any relevant sense. Okay, and I think we might have reached the end of the internet on that one. Before we go over to Rumble, let me just give everybody the link right there, because I want to cover this story, because it's a good story. I'm going to cover it here, and then it'll be the end of our YouTube journey. Let me give everybody the links to Locals and Rumble. Keith Wilson. The amazing thing is, when you start defending the politically disfavored, you start facing random, arbitrary, abusive ethics complaints. People who have never been your client start filing complaints. And they go after your license, because if you're a practicing lawyer, psychologist, whatever, your license is kind of important. When you're no longer practicing, there's a big middle finger that one can give when these abusive political activist scoundrels file frivolous ethics complaints to try to take your license away. Keith Wilson is a practicing attorney. Keith Wilson was representing a number of the convoy individuals. He acted along with Eva Chipiek and, Miller, I forget his first name now, Miller, during the Rouleau Commission. Practicing lawyer with courage, audacity, and intelligence, which must be a very, very intimidating set of attributes to the scumbag who files, what's his name? I know it starts off with W-O-R, Warman. Warman? Is it W-A-R? Yeah, Warman here. This guy, Richard Warman, who files ethics complaints left, right, and center. So just going to read this article. I just got it hot off the press. Law Society dismisses complaint over lawyer's convoy protest tweets. Keith Wilson apologized, says Society. Complainant. This activist lawyer, I'll Google his name so you can see who he is, because he's not in terms of the doxing, but in terms of the political activism. His name's out there. He's very proud of what he does. Finds ruling inconceivable. It's incomprehensible. The Law Society of Alberta has dismissed a code of conduct complaint filed almost 2 years ago against one of that province's lawyers about his tweets he made during the 2022 the Ottawa convoy. You know who filed it? Not a client. Not someone who's been harmed in the context of Mr. Wilson's representation of them as a client. An activist hack schlock of a lawyer who goes around looking for fights, filing complaints against his political ideological adversaries, because that's the only way these dirty scoundrels can fight. In a December 2023 document obtained by Radio-Canada, state-funded propaganda, the Law Society said Keith Wilson was remorseful and committed to doing better in the future. Wilson was a familiar face during the 2022 demonstrations at the nation's capital. At the time, he was part of a legal team, yada, yada, yada. The complaint was filed with the Law Society of Ottawa, odd because I think Wilson practices out of Alberta, but maybe whatever. Filed with the Law Society of Ottawa by human rights lawyer Richard Warman. Can you imagine a human rights lawyer, a so-called human rights lawyer, that wants to punish someone for their free speech because it was a tweet? He wanted to punish Keith Wilson for a tweet. I'll see if we can find it. Here we go. Warman alleged that Wilson engaged, quote, in trivialization of the Holocaust by retweeting material comparing Justin Trudeau to Adolf Hitler. Hey, Warman, I compare Justin Trudeau to Adolf Hitler. Forbes magazine, Forbes News compares Justin Trudeau to Adolf Hitler. Take your victim exploitation and shove it. Scum. I want to see the using the hashtag #FreeTamara, a reference to the convoy organizer who was arrested at the time. I want to see the tweet. I'm going to see if I can find the tweet. According to Warman, Wilson's posts violated different code of conduct rules, including one that requires lawyers in the course of their professional practice to not communicate with anyone in a way that is abusive or offensive. Hey, Warman, grow the F up. Grow some skin that's a little thicker than a butterfly's wings, you snowflake. Warman also alleged that Wilson posted, quote, material inciting police officers to disobey their oath to uphold and enforce the law because it would benefit his clients. We got to find the tweet. One tweet Wilson posted included a video of Edmonton police officer who was supporting the trucker and thanking them for standing up to police officers. To the several hundred extra police now massing at Ottawa, yada, yada, yada. Watch the video. Decide which side of history you want to be on. The world is watching. That's the tweet. Warman alleged that the breach of code of conduct, since lawyers acting as advocates must encourage public respect for the administration of justice and respect their clients. Oh my goodness. Candid and remorseful. I hope Wilson didn't have to go to Jordan Peterson re-education camp over this. The Law Society's conduct committee opted to investigate. Okay. What does it say here? Investigate the complaint by holding a private meeting between Wilson and a member of its board known as a bencher. The approach is typically used to see if a lawyer understands their, quote, ethical obligations, end quote, according to the Society's website. The committee then decides if further disciplinary hearing is needed. According to the decision, the bencher indicated Wilson had apologized for his conduct and accepted responsibility. Wilson was courteous, civil, candid, and remorseful. That's because Wilson is a good man, and Warman is not. Throughout the investigative process, the document said he was committed to doing better, will be more careful in the future. He also acknowledged that the society expects lawyers to encourage public respect for the administration of justice, yada, yada. Okay, let's get to Warman. In a statement to Radio Canada, Wilson was not concerned about how the positions I took about. Okay, fine. I want to hear where Warman told Radio Canada that the messages Wilson posted on the Law Society's decision were unacceptable. Quote, when you're a lawyer and you encourage police officers to break the law for the benefit of your clients, I think it's a scandal. Well, other people with bigger brains don't, Warman. It was incomprehensible that the Law Society gave Wilson basically a tap on the wrist, he added. I don't understand how. That encourages public respect of the Law Society of Alberta's ability to govern their own members and to uphold the professional conduct, Warman said. Oh, hold on. Let me go up here for this first. I want to see, what was his first name? His name is Warman. Warman. It's amazing, eh? Like Nomen S. Omen. The name is the indication. Richard Warman. Let's see here. There were some other, he's done other equally. Oh no, is he on with the anti-hate? I think he has something to do with the anti-hate network. All right, at the risk of saying something that's not 100% accurate, I'll find out later. Or I'm going to find out right now by checking another source. Let me see something here. And that's the story. So a little bit of good news. Yeah, is he not involved in the... It doesn't matter. That's Warman. You get an idea for who he is, how much of a human rights attorney he is, and so on and so forth. Okay, that is it. That thus ends our transmission on YouTube, and we're going to go over to the free speech platform of Rumble. 500 people on YouTube. Get out. Flee, people. Let's see that number go below 500. The link to Rumble is there. The link to Locals is here now. The number just went up to 510. That's the wrong direction, everybody. Did I miss any super chats here? I didn't. Oh, you know what? Actually, while everyone does that, I'm going to read the Rumble rants on both platforms. Nike 7 Viva, you spelled color wrong. Getting very American. Consensus around the water cooler. Carrie Lake VP, Vivek Chief of Staff. Have you considered that? We've considered that. I don't think it's going to be Carrie Lake. Barnes has some compelling reasons as to why. Finboy Slick says, yeah, Viva, stop being a shill for Big Froma. We want mullet autonomy. And Ginger Ninja says, I hate that I missed your live with Alpha. That was amazing. Watched the replay last night. Had never heard of him before. The guy has gonads and principles. So rare. He's right. Things are going to get much worse. Everyone's got to go watch that interview yesterday because... and especially the clip that I put out on Twitter this morning. And Ginger Ninja is the man... Who put that there? Oh my gosh. Nobody puts anything on that chess set. That's the chessboard that Ginger Ninja made. And Ginger Ninja is on Twitter. I think he's now over 100 people. So go check out Ginger Ninja. Okay, we're ending on YouTube. Get on over to Rumble. Bye-bye, YouTube. 3, 2, 1.